Welcome into Good Morning KU. I'm Jackson Long alongside Farzine Vasugian. It's been a snowy week, a couple snow days last week and also a little bit of snow last night, but we're here to talk sports this morning on this Monday morning. KU this weekend with a 83-69 victory over the Mountaineers from West Virginia. Andrew Wiggins led all scorers with 19 points, but it was the front court for the Jayhawks that led the charge.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at Joel Embiid. Statistically, he didn't have an off day. He still had a double-double, but the guys up front, Jamari Traylor and Tarek Black coming off the bench, combined for 18 points. Absolutely big day. And Tarek Black with the best game since conference play has gotten underway. His best game since the Georgetown game on December 21st. Just a tremendous job by Tarek Black going in there, making a big impact for KU, and that's what helped KU get that win, that front court right there. And West Virginia got into foul trouble really early in the game. That made Bob Huggins go to the bench very early and even deepen his bench when other players got into foul trouble, and that just gave KU all the momentum in the postgame, and that's what allowed KU to get things going. Andrew Wiggins, Wayne Selden, a tremendous job from those two guys as well, and all of that just spelled a great day for KU.
You're right. Jamari Traylor and Tarek Black off the bench, huge minutes, and actually combined for 6 for 6 shooting from the field. Embiid and Perry Ellis were in foul trouble early, but it was definitely the front court that kind of saved the day for the Jayhawks. Wiggins with a quiet 19 points, all the hype that comes with him. There you see the stats, 19 points, 4 rebounds. Selden had 17 points, but we mentioned the front court was big. West Virginia, 2 Big 12 Player of the Year candidates, really.
Yes.
And Staten and Harris, 22 points, 4 assists, 17 points, 6 rebounds for Harris.
Yeah, and the thing about Staten and Harris is those two both had great games, but it seemed like they were going off at different times. They were not playing well together. That was the biggest problem with West Virginia, and those were the only 2 players contributing that afternoon. Had other players stepped up for the Mountaineers, I think they could have gave KU a run for their money for all 40 minutes, but those 2 guys being the only impact players, West Virginia was really one-dimensional in that game.
Andrew Wiggins did a nice job guarding players on the wing. Once again, though, the Jayhawks did win 83-69 over the West Virginians, who have been a little bit of a surprise thus far in the Big 12. Let's see what the coaches had to say afterwards, after the game.
We just didn't make any. We didn't make any open shots, and then the rebound at the foul line hurt us. It was. They go 1 for 2 from the foul line, and then offensive rebounded at the foul line and score. Those things. Those are things that really hurt you.
I think Tarek is playing in the exact way that we envisioned him playing when we first got him. I mean, maybe a little better even. I mean, he's doing a lot of good things. He's very vocal. He coaches through his voice a lot of times, especially defensively, and he's getting more confidence offensively, and he's playing within himself. He's doing a nice job.
So there you see a couple different demeanors from the head coaches. Bob Huggins for West Virginia, pretty down in the dumps, I guess, and you saw with his hand covering his face. Didn't really know what to do, what to say. Kind of a dismal loss and perplexing, I guess, to say.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, the fouls were a problem because they had to go deep in their bench with their post players, and he admitted after the game they just don't have anyone to throw it to down low, whereas KU was fortunate to have Joel Embiid, Tarek Black, Jamari Traylor. The list goes on and on. I mean, there are an unlimited number of players where not many college basketball teams have that fortunate gift right there.
Bill Self definitely lucky and obviously a little bit more happy in the press conference as well. So let's preview K-State a little bit. The Jayhawks travel to Manhattan tonight for the second half of the Sunflower Showdown. A big matchup because Kansas State coming off a huge win against Texas this weekend.
Yes.
And still in striking distance in the Big 12. So let's talk about this K-State team as well as matching up with KU.
K-State has been a little inconsistent this year. They started off with a really tough loss against the University of Northern Colorado, but then they've gotten things underway, beating some ranked teams in the Big 12. Had a nice one earlier this year against Oklahoma, but struggled a little bit against Iowa State. KU's always been the team that's been in the way. You've got to remember, this is a team that shared the Big 12 regular season title with KU, fell in the championship game to KU. So it seems like for K-State, it's just KU's always been in the way, and they've been the younger brother of the Big 12. So for K-State, what they need to do is work to their strengths, come out aggressive, and challenge KU. And look, the last 3 games at Bramlage Coliseum 3 years ago, KU did lose to K-State. They were the #1 seed. That was on Valentine's Day on 2011. And then the following 2 games, KU's won, but in narrow margins too. It's always a competitive game at Bramlage Coliseum. Despite KU dominating 47 of the last 50 meetings, every time they're in Manhattan, KU always has a hard time going in there. They usually find a way to pick up a win, but K-State can challenge this team in Manhattan.
That's kind of the beauty of the rivalry game. So you see Kansas State versus KU tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Be sure to check it out. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be meeting with Kevin Willmott, the director of the new Jayhawkers film highlighting Fog Allen, Wilt Chamberlain, and the social climate of the 1950s. Stay with us.